Hi, my name is Dadisi, and I'm a bass drummer. Welcome to the first episode of the Bass Drum, Bass Break It Down Animal Style Series Volume 1. Okay, we're doing it. I wanted to do videos like this for quite a while. Then I went to DCI Night Beat. I saw the Cavaliers bass line and I was like, that is the first video. Those guys are playing rudiments and I'm about it. The bass break is less than 20 seconds long and I'm going to talk about it for like 8 minutes. So let's just get right into it. All right, here we go. Let's get into the 2024 Cavaliers bass break.
Good. Sorry, I tried to make it up to spring training, but y'all were out
Of all the things I've seen get cut from bass drum music, I cannot believe they stuck with the cold 15-lit Bugada to start this bass break. Now there's really only two things you can do to clean this in my opinion. First, you have to be good at 5-lits, obviously. This bass line probably played a ton of 5-lit grids and 5-lit timing. The rhythm needs to be accurate enough to be split into triplets and consistent enough to be done in the heat of a performance. When it comes to splits like these, there's a misbelief that only the top 3 need to be good at this rhythm, but you're gonna run into problems with that line of thinking. If bass 4 and 5 can't keep track of this rhythm, they aren't going to enter comfortably. Bass 4 has the release here, so if he can't keep up with the 5-lit, that release will never be in time. So I'd go ahead and have the full bass line work on these 5-lit grids together. The second thing you can do to work on this rhythm is to metrically modulate it. Metric modulations are kind of a cheat code to turn any rhythm into any other rhythm. This takes a bit of math, so try to follow along. The goal is to find out what this 15-lit would feel like as a more comfortable rhythm, so we need to alter the tempo to make that adjustment. The quarter note is at 115 beats per minute. We're going to divide that in half to find the half note speed. Multiply the half note tempo by 5 to find the speed of the 5-lits. This number is the speed of each 5-lit partial. If we plug this into a metronome and played triplets, it would be the same speed as the 15-lit. But this tempo is too fast to be practically useful, so we're gonna cut it in half and work on this rhythm as sextuplets. Sextuplets at 143.75 beats per minute is the exact same speed as a 15-lit at 115 beats per minute. I'd have the guys play this as sextuplets just to work on the hand speed without having to address the extra complications that the 5-lit adds. Then we can just plug and play when we take it at the written tempo. The beat after this is pretty standard. We could probably just check it as 16th notes and then play it as written. Bass 2 and 3 might have some trouble with this because they just came out of the 15-lit, but that'll really just take a lot of reps to get used to and not a ton of teaching. In Cavaliers fashion, I wrote a check progression that I'd play if I was teaching this bass break. The next measure is pretty straightforward. Triple it into some 30-second note 2s and split hertas. Easy check for this. Let's keep it moving. Next couple bars, you got the classic modulating wee-woos. Gotta love them. 30-second note wee-woos here are cooking. That's pretty fast. Okay, making them sound as good as the Cavaliers played them takes a lot of practice. the tendency is typically to be too open on the twos and to underbalance the left hand. So if you're working on these, keep that in mind. It's better to be too tight on the twos than too open. If they're too open, the entire rhythm is going to be washed out. But if they're too tight, you maybe can hear some separation. But at this speed, the only way to be too tight is to play double stops, right? Playing this fast feels like you're just playing flams. Here's a couple checks that you could use to break this down. Next bar is pretty fun. Sextuplet bugetas into a sextuplet laser, and then whatever you want to call this, Weeboo laser, Rev laser, freaking Sigma laser, I don't know. But it's a laser with twos on it. It's got that sauce, you know what I mean? What's fun about this is the macro rhythm changes even though the composite doesn't. So we have 2 beats of a duple feel and 2 beats of a triplet feel even though it's all in sextuplets. And this is the kind of stuff where you have to have a solid bass 3. So I probably play the duple to triple check and then have bass 3 fill in their part and then play it as written. And depending on the situation and who may be struggling most, we might want to play some different checks. Checks are meant to be situational. They are not a one-size-fits-all solution. So let's say bass 4 is having trouble. We could play a check that isolates just the rhythms they're involved in, and this is going to give the bass 4 a chance to hear the rhythms that they play and make accurate adjustments. Moving on to the last bar, this one is not easy. The original sheet music that I got has these sextuplet hand-to-hands in it, but I'm pretty sure this isn't what they ended up playing. What they played was actually a 9-lit hand-to-hand. Any type of 9-lit single split always feels super weird to play. I've only found 2 checks that are even practical. The triplet check is theoretically the right check to play, but from personal experience, you just aren't going to be tracking each triplet partial when you play the full rhythm. With this specific example, I'd probably try to at least cling on to beat 2, but I would not be trying to track each triplet partial. And I don't even have a name for this second check, but I always use it for 9-lit singles or hand-to-hands. It lets both players feel the hand speed without having to commit to the full 9-lit split. It's not an easy check, but once you get a feel for it, it'll really be helpful. I definitely recommend it if you ever find yourself splitting 9-lits like this. But wait, there is actually a secret third check that I forgot to mention until I was editing this video together. It's another example of how we can use metric modulation to make rhythms a lot easier. We have the bottom 3 drums playing a quarter note triplet, which conveniently splits the 9-lit check into groupings of 3. So instead of trying to play 9 partials in 2 beats, we can shift our perception of the quarter note to match the quarter note triplet, and now we're playing 9 partials in 3 beats, or 3 partials per quarter note, which is just 3 triplets. And this is actually how the Cavaliers checked this split in the lot. Alright y'all, that is it for the first episode of the Bass Break Breakdown series. Now that we have all this insight into the Cavaliers bass break, let's listen to it one more time with some appreciation for all the work that went into it.
Good. Sorry, I tried to make it up to spring training, but y'all were out
If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps new drummers find the page and could inspire one of them to start playing bass drum. Now this is going to be a series, so if you have another bass break that you want me to break down, leave a comment and I'll check it out. I've also gotten a lot of requests to talk about how to write for bass drum. So if you've written a drumline etude or some show chunks that you wouldn't mind me looking at on video, I'll have my email in the description and you can send it my way. I'm not gonna roast you, okay? I just need a catalyst to share insights and recommendations on how to write for bass drum in a way that feels good for the players and is also sonically interesting. That's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.